pine trees sway lies a truth they've tried to hide away. Broken homes built on cash and lies, children's tears with no goodbyes. City halls wrapped in walls so proud, whispers buried beneath the cloud. Promised stars that just never shone, kids forgotten and left alone. The Punisher's here to make it right. Penny's voice will break the night, expose the webs they try to weave. Maine's children need a reason to believe. In the corners where the shadows meet, little souls afraid to speak, guardians with hearts so cold, sell the young for stacks of gold. Dark secrets under moonlit skies, no more hush to a quiet cries. Stand up tall and shine the light, justice calls and we'll unite. The Punisher's here to make it right. Penny's voice will break the night, expose the webs they try to weave. Maine's children need a reason to believe. Punisher's here to make it right. Penny's voice will break the night, expose the webs they try to weave. Maine's children need a reason to believe. In the woods where the pine trees sway lies a truth they've tried to hide away. Broken homes built on cash and lies, children's tears with no goodbyes. City halls wrapped in walls so proud, whispers buried beneath the cloud. Promised stars that just never shone, kids forgotten and left alone. The Punisher's here to make it right. Penny's voice will break the night, expose the webs they try to weave. Maine's children need a reason to believe. In the corners where the shadows meet, little souls afraid to speak, guardians with hearts so cold, sell the young for stacks of gold. Dark secrets under moonlit skies, no more.
Our courts are contaminated with young, inexperienced caseworkers and polluted with bribes, high-priced bonuses for speedy adoption of terminated parents, and judges who don't practice law with the Constitution in their sights. This is a problem.
They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with that out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear that the division is what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem. Stealing our kids, it's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again. OCPS comes along with the mission to protect. The only thing they are doing is cashing in those checks paid for by the souls of the children, diagnosed by a caseworker who is still a baby herself. They take away the fathers, leaving just a mom and cubs. They know that with dad out the way, the better things will go. Breaking apart the family, destroying the American way. Our legacy is built upon our families of yesterday. Fuck CPS, fuck CPS, fuck what they doing. Fuck CPS, they need to be ruined. It's all about the division of family services. You hear the division, that's what they about. They prey upon the family, the ones that the dad's been kicked out. We can't stand for this abomination. This is the song that needs to play across our once great nation, making us aware of the problem, stealing our kids. It's not mama drama. Stand up for those who are lost to them. We need to fight for the family, making America great again.
All right. Good evening, Saturday afternoon, everybody. We are CPS victims hunting for justice, family matters in Maine. Darren has no internet right now, so I am currently waiting for the angry citizen. I had sent him a link to come in and talk, but until one of them are able to get on, I want to read you guys something that was just put out on January 7th, 2025 at 12:04 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It says, Maine continues to struggle to care for the children in state custody, according to new report. But despite some recent progress, Maine's Office of Child and Family Services continues to struggle to care for children in state custody, according to a new report from an independent office tasked with reviewing the agency's work. Out of the 80 cases assessed by Child Welfare Services ombudsmen, more than half shown, quote, substantial issues impacting in entirety the safety and best interest of the children or the rights of the parents. So in other words, Maine, you guys, all that are listening, Maine is violating parents and the children, and they cannot protect them even in their custody. Right there, that polarizes what is going on in Maine. The report says OCFS staff continue operating under enormous pressure, in part due to lack of behavioral health and legal services for families. Ms. Bobby Jo Retarded Johnson, director of the Office of Child and Family Services, said systematic changes are needed to fully address these challenges. It really requires the systems, so not just the Child Protective Service, but also behavior and mental health partners, hospitals, medical providers, the legal community, she said. These issues are facing families are going to require some innovation solutions that we need to come together to develop and implement. The report did cite areas of progress, including the creation of new positions and management change within the agency. Wow, guys, this is a problem. Hey, Mr. Jonathan, how are you? How you doing, sir? You're uncensored. That's awesome. That's awesome. I'm glad to see that you're uncensored. That is fantastic, brother. That is fantastic. Um, guys, this is a problem within Maine. Maine is failing our children in their custody. Just alone in my case, my daughter's being medically neglected, both of them. My one daughter is being hygiene neglected by the foster parents that she is with. They are not cleaning her ears out. They're not taking care of her hygiene, not cutting her finger and toenails. They're not giving her great hygiene. And this is unbelievable. The people that are supposed to be there for our kids are not actually protecting our kids. And we happen to have Mr. Dana, the angry citizen, with us. So I'm going to bring Mr. Dana out here and get an update on what he's been battling, because that man has been battling a lot of things with government and everything else that I have seen. And he's been talking to even state senators. So, Mr. Dana, come on out. How we doing, Dana? Oh, he doesn't have his mic in yet. He's got to fix his hair first.
What
How
up,
are we
Jay?
doing, Mr. Dana?
Having a pretty good day so far. What about you?
Oh, kind of disgraced at the department and what they're putting out since January 7th. They're saying that they can't protect the safety of our children. Well, why can't you protect the safety of our children? You supposedly say that we're unsafe, but you can't protect our children either?
Yeah, well, we've known that for a while, unfortunately, but at least now it's obvious. They can't deny it, They can't say, "Oh no, we're fine," because they're basically admitting that they're not fine, and we know that. So the whole
Yeah.
system needs to be, abolished. Basically, is my feeling on the subject.
So I see that you got to talk to the senators about the wood.
Yes,
I
among
followed
other
that the other
things.
day and was listening in. Why don't we tell the Mainers what is actually going on with that and what they're trying to push?
Yeah, for sure. Because everyone in Maine should know because it's our state, and basically what the industry is. These are forces behind the scenes pushing this offshore wind industry, claiming that it's green. We're not burning fossil fuels, and technically that's correct, but they do not cite all all of the costs and issues behind the scenes, and the most important of which is the destruction of our coastline, because they're putting up these giant windmills is what they want to do, and they want to take large sections of our coastline and put up these strings of giant windmills, and it's expensive, and it's not green at all, and it's destructive to the environment, it's destructive to the ocean floor, and hazardous to marine life. It's The entire thing is a sham, and it just makes me so angry because they're so self-righteous and smug, so full of, oh, we're so great, we're gonna get have green energy, and it's good for the environment, blah blah blah. But at the end of the day, it's really not. And there's a lot of people that are going to make money off of it, and a lot of people that aren't even in Maine. They want to take the whole Sears Island and turn it into some sort of way station for uh, solar power for or for ships to arrive, or something to that. I can't remember the exact specifics of what they're doing. Just going to take the whole island and just you know uh, basically use it for a industrial base, which is just horrendous.
What I don't understand is, they have this in our Congress and in our Senate, and there is quite a few senators that are obviously against it. I know Falkenham is definitely
Yeah,
against it. I've seen his post and stuff about it, and he's definitely against it
yeah.
as well. Um, and he's supposed to be the lead guy for the Republican Party.
Well, they have
Um,
the Democrats basically have control. I hate divisive politics. I hate labels, but in this case, it is accurate. It's the Democrats in our Congress that are pushing this, and sort of allowing it to happen. Of course, Janet Mills is 100% on board, touting it as if it's the greatest thing ever. Um, and I've made no secret of the fact that I passionately despise her. She's a criminal. She's a traitor. She's issued unconstitutional orders and perjured her oath, and she should be arrested and thrown in jail for treason. That's the naked truth. But there are a lot of elected representatives in our Congress who are doing a good job and are fighting this, and we need to support them because they're outnumbered and outgunned. And basically what's happening right now, for those who don't know, is in the Maine legislature, the Democrats just doing whatever they want. They don't care, even over the very logical, lawful, rational, reasonable objections of those objecting. they just steamroll them right over. They just pass this ridiculous supplemental budget. Our budget is just bloated wildly out of control, and they're just ramming it down our throats. And we're going to be seeing huge tax increases here. They're going to have a tax on cigarettes, and a tax on streaming services, and a tax on, I can't even remember them all. There's a whole list of them, and Janet Mills comes up and stands there and says, "Oh, we're going to have a reasonable budget. It's going to be a little challenging in some ways, but overall, it's good." And she also had the balls to stand up and say our economy is strong. She said, "Not everyone's feeling it." Yeah, no one's feeling it, Janet, except you maybe, I guess, are feeling pretty good, but the rest of us are struggling to put food on the table, and eggs are, you know, freaking $10 a dozen. It's just crazy.
That's
I
why I
agree
buy
with you,
local
Christy.
eggs, or I get them from my sister because she's got tons of chickens and roosters.
A lot of people are getting chickens now, and smart move. I mean, we overall in the nation as well as in the state of Maine, we're seeing a very strong push for people kind of returning accountability and responsibility for our own lives and safety into local hands, which is how it should be. We've shifted away from this over the decades because the federal government likes power, so they seized more and more and more power from us. But the truth is, when our nation was founded, we were founded as a union of states. Each state is its own sovereign entity, and the federal government actually does not have any authority over any of us. We have authority over them. But we've flipped that paradigm over the years because they keep pushing it, and they keep, it's like if you tell a lie often enough, people start to believe you, even in the face of overwhelming lack of evidence. And so, from food and shelter and heating and all the important issues that are facing Mainers, we start returning control to the local level, and we rob that federal entity of that power that they've seized. So, I view this as a very, very good thing.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, and they got a point down here, Christy, about the windmills freezing. Um, I don't know how many times I heard about this, even up when I lived up north. We lived right near where they do the ice road trucking out of Maine. I lived in right near Greenville. I was like an hour from Greenville. And up on them mountains up there, they have all these windmills, and they stagger them all down through. Like, I've been looking as I came down, and they're all on the mountaintops. So we already have these windmills in place, but we are not receiving the power for that. Massachusetts is.
Well, not only that, they don't generate very much power. If you look at the overall requirements, and my friend Reagan Paul did a great video on this. You can find it on YouTube if you look her up, Representative Reagan Paul, and was very specific with regard to the numbers. It's a tiny, tiny, tiny fraction of our power that we could, realistically get from wind power if we pursued it. And again, there's all these appropriated costs. They're expensive to build. They're expensive to maintain. The building process is not green at all, and the blades wear out, and the blades are not biodegradable. There's this like huge landfills out in the west where they're trying to pull this off. They're filled with these used solar or used wind blades that they wore out, and they don't know what to do with them. They can't do anything with them, so they just bury them in
Yeah,
giant.
because it takes what,
How
two
green
trucks?
is that?
It takes two trucks to move them things.
Yeah, they're huge. They're like 100 feet long, and how much diesel fuel do they burn in the whole process of putting these things up? And it's ludicrous. The whole thing is just idiotic. And I think that if most people in Maine knew what was going on, they would object to this. And the problem is that our elected servants just do whatever they want. They do whatever they can get away with. We've seen that on the national level for a long time, and unfortunately, we're seeing it in Maine. They're just going to do whatever they're going to do unless we slap them down. Uh, they're going to keep doing it, and then they escalate. When they get away with a little, they start trying to get away with a little more and a little more and a little more, and now we're all of a sudden facing billions of dollars of budget shortfall because they just spent money like drunken sailors, and they're going to jack up our taxes all over the place to pay for the lack of planning and lack of fiscal accountability and responsibility. It makes me livid.
Yeah, well, let's jump in on that because you know the what I've been reading and what I've been seeing posted out there by Laurel Libby. Um, Maine is way in the deficit on
Yes.
federal funding. We are behind, guys, by over 80 something million, I heard.
Yeah, I don't remember the exact figure, but yes, we Janet Mills got a bunch of money, a bunch of federal money during the so-called COVID scam, and bolstered our budget with this an artificial inflation of money. And again, I don't like to use divisive partisan labels, but they are appropriate sometimes. And we know Democrats are all about spending money. They'll spend money as fast as they can, and every time with little to no regard to where the money's going to come from. um, and I like we're housing illegal aliens here in Maine, and I want everyone to know I have nothing against people from other countries. I'm not xenophobic. I'm not a racist. But you either come here legally or you're a criminal. Those are your choices. People are all, oh, they're from, you know, underprivileged, other countries. Blah, blah. Okay, fine. Well, there's a process, isn't there? So you're just going to tell me you're going to just ignore the process? Well, I would like to challenge those Democrats out there. Who have you paid for? Have you paid for an illegal immigrant? Have you paid for a migrant to come here? Are you paying their rent? Are you buying their food, putting clothes on their kids' back? Because it takes a lot of balls to forcefully extract money from taxpayers of Maine to do that. If you yourself aren't willing to do it, you're literally stealing money from someone else to pay for someone that because you say so. And again, there's a process to come here legally. And if you want to come here, as an immigrant, you're welcome. Here's the process. If you're an asylum seeker, there's a process for seeking asylum. Follow the process. And people complain that it's complicated and it takes a long time. I know. But the answer to that isn't ignore it and come here illegally. That's ludicrous. And I cannot believe that people endorse that and support that. It's crazy. We have people right now in Maine who are homeless. We're homeless veterans in Maine. And you're going to
It's
bring people from
high.
other countries
It
here?
really is. Yeah, it's really high. Homeless veterans are very like I knew one back when I was homeless, and this poor guy, they didn't treat him right. He even had a dog that he slept with all the time. His name, his dog name was Cookie. And he was very known within in the Portland area and known for staying right out behind Cumberland County Jail. And then they tore through there to put in the new tracks. I mean, you know, they destroyed an area where a man was living for over 5 years, homeless, a veteran at that.
Yeah, there shouldn't be any homeless veterans in America. If we can afford to spend $40 billion to fund a war in the Ukraine, it just makes my blood boil. Uh, and you tell the guy who's sleeping on the street, who faced combat, who had bullets flying past his head, who cleaned his buddy's blood out of a Humvee, you tell him, "Oh, sorry, dude, we got nothing for you. You're gonna live on the street and dig food out of trash cans and beg for scraps, but we're gonna buy missiles and tanks and planes and send them to the Ukraine for them for their war." I can't even believe that these people aren't in jail. It boggles my mind. I'm hopeful that we're going to see this. I see a lot of good things happening in the nation, and we won't know about this unless we're looking for it. Because if for those of you out there you're watching mainstream media, you have no idea what's going on. You
Yeah,
look
they're
at
not giving mainstream media is not giving you the truth. If you want the truth, you need to go on Rumble. You need to go on other websites. I'm part of the. I'm trying to remember the name of it, but I just joined their thing 2 weeks ago, and their forum is very updating. Like I get all kinds of information sent to me. I'm also part of the Constitutional Task Force. um, I joined their alliance as well. So guys, you really got to start digging because the more you guys find, the better. Because main channel newses are gonna lie to you. They're
yeah,
paid by
unfortunately.
our Democratic Party.
Well, they're scripted. Like if you listen to the words that they use on the even your so-called local news, listen carefully to the words they use. I'll give you a couple of examples. Whenever the media, any media that is mainstreamish in nature, whenever they talk about Donald Trump's claims of election fraud. And for the record, folks, the 2020 election was stolen. If you don't think so, it's because you never looked into it. It was egregious. The fraud
Absolutely, it
was
was. Yep.
catastrophic, titanic, egregious. We're talking all over the country. There were people driving up to boxes, drop boxes, ballot boxes, and feeding in hundreds of ballots. Okay, that it's insane. It's so bad. Anyway, so where was I going? Oh, so the media would say every time, without exception, they would say Donald Trump's false claims of election fraud. See, every time, that's the phrase. Never, they would say alleged election fraud or Donald Trump claims there was election fraud. They would say false. Now, those claims have never been proven wrong. The media's never looked at it, said, okay, here's the claim, and here's the valid refutation of that claim. They don't do that. They just laugh at you like you're stupid. You
Yep,
know,
they do.
and
Yep.
then giggle and talk to each other like, did you hear him? He thinks there was election fraud. Oh, what a moron. But they never present proof. Where's your proof? Well, there's plenty of proof out there that the election was stolen. If anyone could believe at face value that Joe Biden got 84 million votes, 84 million votes, supposedly Joe Biden got, it's insane. It's ridiculous. So the media is presenting you with propaganda. It's all scripted, very carefully scripted. And you, for example, look at what's going on with Doge now. So Donald Trump gets elected. He appoints Elon Musk as the head of this new department called the Department of Government Efficiency.
Yep.
The stated mission is to find wasteful spending and cut it off, and to investigate where our hard-earned taxpayer money is going. Now, at face value, who would object to that? Who would go, no, I don't like that. Let's let them rip us off, right? So every day they find millions of dollars of fraud and waste and money unaccounted for and flagrant corruption that should be prosecuted. But the media comes up and they say, Musk defends Doge. Do you get that? He defends. Well, why is he defending? Well, they must be being attacked. Or they'll make vague implications, insinuations, like they'll say, deep concerns about Musk access to private data, deep concerns, growing fears. See? They just plant a little seed in your head that you don't like this. Why wouldn't they celebrate? Like the headline should be, Elon Musk finds billions of dollars of flagrant waste on his first day at Doge.
I think we're what, up over 102 million right now.
I haven't checked recently, but I wouldn't be surprised, and I think it's a drop in the bucket. And when they present stories on the TV about government agencies and organizations closing and so-called federal workers being fired, they present them as if we are cruelly throwing people out into the street who are hardworking. And that's a very, very misleading, fraudulent presentation of what's happening. What's happening is they're finding money, millions and millions of dollars spent on insanity, our money spent on insanity, and some of it flagrantly laundered, and presenting this information. Here it is. And these people that are working for the so-called federal government, they work for us. And we have every right to say, we're sorry, your services are no longer required, just like any of us face when we go to work. I could at any day be fired. I keep asking my boss to fire me. He won't do it. But anytime, any one of us that have a job could go to work, and the person that we work for might say, I'm very sorry, but we're letting you go. Okay. It's not the end of the world. It sucks, but you find another job. And we are seeing so much waste and so much fraud that this is necessary and important, because, folks, for those of you who don't know, we don't have the money. They are printing money and borrowing money and giving themselves a raise. Did you know Congress gave themselves a raise recently?
Yep.
Yes, they did. 40%, those fuckers, excuse my French, 40%. Unbelievable. They're making almost $200,000 a year. And
So,
did
guys,
you know they get
basically what what me and Angry Citizen are telling you. Don't watch your local newses because they're gonna be sitting there giving you propaganda bullshit and lies and feeding you with nothing but untrue shit. Um,
Propaganda.
yeah, you
Yeah.
want real facts. It's either on TikTok, it's on X, or it's on
Rumble for sure.
the ACLJ or on Rumble. You're
Rumble
gonna
for
see
sure.
it.
If you want the
Rumble is
really good
definitely.
information, check out Dan Bongino
Yes,
on
yes, I've
Rumble.
been following him. My
Okay.
stepfather follows
Rumble
him.
rumble.com/Bongino. This guy is a badass. He's former Secret Service. All right. He is the guy knows his shit and he deals in truth. And he keeps saying the phrase he uses is bring receipts. We bring receipts. What he's saying is if I make a claim, I'm going to prove it to you. I'm going to show you the proof. And one of the things I saw on his show recently, I can't remember which episode it was, or I would tell you, but he put together a montage of all of the Democrats in Congress saying no one is above the law. It's hilarious, dude. We have them like a whole bunch of them end to end. No one is above the law. Just they're so bold, and this was just before uh, Hunter Biden got pardoned supposedly by his father. By the way, there's no such thing as a preemptive pardon, America. I checked into this, and I
Oh
know
yeah.
some constitutional scholars. You cannot give a pardon for something with it has to be specific. They have to be charged with a crime. You have to cite the specific charge against them, and then you can give them a presidential pardon. But the presidential pardon cannot be used as a blanket get out of jail free forever. It simply doesn't work that way. It won't hold up. Hopefully, if it comes to
Well, I mean, the one of the things that I posted this morning, a judge ruled in favor of Trump, um, and said that he does have the authority by his government officials to do the job that he has been doing with Doge. And people are not getting that from the media. They're being lied to about that. President Trump has the power to have Doge do their job.
yes, you,
No judicial system can step over that power.
right. And court orders are another thing that are badly abused in this country. And folks, they're just like executive orders at people. And don't get me wrong, I'm very much in favor of the what Donald Trump is doing for the most part and the executive orders he's writing. But the truth is that executive orders have no authority outside the executive branch of the government. They're just, I have as much authority to order you around as the governor of Maine does or the president of the United States. The president can't write an executive order and order you to cut off your finger or give him your car. But right now, when what Doge is doing is cutting government spending, and he does have the authority. The president does have the authority over federal agencies, and does have the authority to eliminate them or cut their funding or whatever because he works for us, and they work for us, and we're paying them. Like that's our money that's paying these people and these agencies. And folks, let me tell you, if you haven't looked into this, when you see what they're spending our money on, you will be sick. You'll be physically ill to see the crap, the idiotic crap these people are paying. And if you've never looked into USAID, and people need to stop saying US aid. It's not aid. That's misleading. That deliberately. They did that deliberately when they made the USAID. It's not USAID. It's USAID.
Tell them
And
what that actually stands for, Dana, so they can understand that.
it is, what is it? United States aid to independent. Oh, I can't remember. U.S. I'd have to look it up.
AI.
AI. It's no, it's U.S. Oh, I can't remember. I'll have to look it up. But it's not international development. That's it. U.S. something international development. It's a guise for taking our money, tax money, sending it to other nations, and they then have these projects that they implement in using our money. And it's very loose about how the money gets spent, who gets what, when, and a lot of it can't be accounted for. A lot of the money can't be accounted for, and it's a ridiculous slush fund. It's shameful and despicable, in my opinion, criminal. And if everyone in America knew, if the mainstream media put on that story, right? So instead of new concerns about Musk access to private data or something like that, instead of that headline, it read millions of dollars of shameful waste discovered. Right? Think how that would play. That's the headline that they should be putting up there.
Right, and they're not, because the I'm sorry to say, guys, but the Democratic Party is the ones that have been ruling for the last 4 years, and they have been implementing their propaganda, their bullshit into
Sure.
our legislative bodies, um, and overthrowing every state by doing so. They have taken away our constitutional rights when they have no right to do so. Even when it comes to parental rights, I will tell you, I was in a meeting with the Constitutionists yesterday, and they said that TPRs are in direct violation of your Bill of Rights and
Yep.
your constitutional rights,
Yep.
because there is a clause under the Ninth Amendment that says that we, the people, have more power and authority over the government than they think we do. And that's
Yeah.
right in the Constitution.
I think that like most issues we face where our rights are taken away, people don't know their rights, and that's why we're in so much trouble. Because when the authorities and the tyrants and the enforcers arrive, we don't know how to talk to them and deal with them, and
Hey, fast.
we don't have an ability to be in court to speak for ourselves in court. So we're supposed to hire a bar attorney. Bar attorneys are not, kind of hit or miss. You can find a decent bar attorney. I know a couple, but you might also just end up with someone that just wants to charge you some money and get out. And you know, we need to know our own rights. So that's, I think we're seeing a lot of that right now. That people are learning their rights. A lot more people are interested in it. We're doing the research, figuring out what the Constitution means. We can understand the law. We're told you can't. You have to go to law school. No, we can all understand the law to at least a certain extent, at least enough to know our own rights, and speak on our own behalf. But yeah, kidnapping children is, it's kidnapping children. You can paint it any way you want. You write an official document, seal it with wax, write calligraphy on it in Latin, whatever you want. It doesn't matter. It doesn't change the fact that you are kidnapping a child. So, and I want to see
Right.
all the people that have done that held accountable.
See, and that's why a lot of these people don't know about this one article that actually does exist. Guys, there is actually a writ out there. It is called the writ of Qua Warranto, okay, which states that there hasn't been a sitting actual judge in courtrooms since 1778, which means every single judge that is in office is not a judge. They are actors. They are hired, not brought in by the federal court. That's a problem. And it states it in there. Under the writ of Quato, it states it. That should blow all of your minds to know that these judges have no power over us. Like Angry Citizen said, they don't. They really don't have the power. We, the people, are the ones with the power. And that is why we, the people, have to come together and unite and say, enough is enough. Trump is leading that way for us. I heard this morning from someone that said that Trump is, in fact, setting us up so we, the people, can make citizens arrests on these DAs, these ADAs, every person that has violated our constitutional right or stolen from us. He is setting it up so we, the people, can arrest them.
And
That's
we
what
should.
his administration is doing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we need to explore lawful remedies, and that's something I've been working on for the past year. Is how to help people know what lawful remedies to pursue. And it's a little tricky because the system is so corrupt, and in order for it to work, the system can't be corrupt. Because if you go with a lawful affidavit to a court, and the judge isn't a constitutional judge, it doesn't matter. You can present evidence, that overwhelmingly proves that what you're saying is true, and they'll dismiss the case, or rule against you. So, but one step at a time, we're making progress. We have a lot of people learning their rights, and a lot of people teaching others about their rights and about how to prevail in a corrupt system. It can be done. It's difficult, but you know, and hopefully we will see more education provided to all of America, and lawful remedies made apparent so that everyone knows that if you are wronged in this way, this is the path to pursue. And I'd like to see all the governors in our nation who issued lockdowns thrown in jail, because they're traitors. They violated, they perjured their oaths. They swore an oath to uphold and defend the constitutions of the United States and of their respective states. And as soon as they issued a lockdown order and said you're not allowed to leave your house or you have to shut down your business, they violated their oaths, perjured their oaths. That's treason, and they should be tried for that. So it's on my plate, Vinny.
And I want to read something to you guys, because in this it says a lot. So I want to just read a couple things that I found in this to be interesting. I'm trying to get there. And it states right here, our servants have refused accent of law and the most wholesome and necessary for the public good. Our servants have trundled upon our rights of the people. Our servants have passed legislative deductive to the Constitution forbidden by the same. Our servants have exposed we the people to all the dangers of invasion from without a superstition from within. So, and it goes on, guys. And that's under the writ of quato, warranto. And I tell you what, there is so much packed in there that you guys don't realize. And it speaks volume when you look at your because the first lines of that Constitution is we the people. It is not
Well
we
said.
the government.
Yeah, they work for us. We don't work for them. We're their bosses, and we need to reassert our authority over them. And if we can hold a few accountable, like seriously charge them with crimes, and bring them to court and try them, you're going to see the others fall in line very quickly. Let me tell you, they will be mighty happy to cooperate as soon as they see that you will in fact suffer repercussions for your crimes. I just read that Doge found that there are a whole bunch of people that are collecting Social Security that are over 150 years old.
Wow.
Nothing on the news about that, though. They're not going to cover that.
Wow, that is nuts.
Dude, it's crazy.
But they say that we can't live past 100. Okay. You know why they say that? Because, well, we can't really talk about it on the show because of what they've been doing.
Little censorship never kills.
But right, little censorship because they censor that. But
Yeah.
you guys need to start educating yourself on what is really going on throughout the United States, and know that Trump is really, in fact, very much so transparent. His whole administration has been transparent this entire time. They are not hiding nothing they're doing.
Yeah, you got to give the guy credit for that for sure. And when RFK was brought up there and put through the ringer, he gave a speech, and when they were covering this is something that I found from Meryl Nass. Meryl Nass is a former doctor here in Maine. She's very outspoken, very loud and proud and bold, and that's why she got in trouble with the Maine Board of Medicine. But this is something that I posted on my Facebook page, which I got from her. So Robert Kennedy Jr. has now been confirmed and sworn in as the 26th Secretary of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services by a vote of 52 to 48. No matter what you think of Kennedy, this is undoubtedly one of the most pivotal moments in U.S. history. But MSNBC didn't want you to hear any of it. On Katie Tur Reports, MSNBC told viewers they were about to listen in to Trump's comments about RFK Jr. before his swearing in as HHS secretary. But in an awkward and sudden shift, Tur informed them that nope, they weren't going to hear any of it. Instead, they would watch it while MSNBC brought on a doctor to offer commentary and insult RFK Jr. instead. Just as RFK Jr. was about to speak and Dr. Drew Updike wrapped up his commentary, MSNBC cut to a commercial break. How convenient. I looked elsewhere for Kennedy's comments and found them on the conservative news network Real America's Voice. Here's what MSNBC didn't want you to hear. In an eye-watering moment, Kennedy delivered an emotional tribute to President Trump after being sworn in as HHS secretary. These are his words. For 20 years, I've gotten up every morning on my knees and prayed that God would put me in a position where I could end the childhood chronic disease epidemic in this country. On August 23rd of last year, God sent me President Trump. He's kept every promise that he's made to me. He's kept his word on every account and gone way beyond it. I'm so grateful to you, Mr. President. A lot of people told me that I couldn't trust President Trump, that I better get it in writing. And we did a handshake, and everything that he told me was going to do, he has done. And I'm so grateful to him. And I've told you before, I genuinely believe that you are a pivotal historical figure and you are going to transform this country, Kennedy said. Kennedy added that at a time when 60% of our people are sick and 77% of our children cannot qualify for military service, America needs a man on a white horse to get us on the right track. President Trump has shown again and again that he is that hero, Kennedy declared. For years, the mainstream media has tried to out-debate RFK Jr. and dismiss him as a conspiracy theorist, but when he continually schooled them on their own networks, they gave up and just decided to blanket smear him instead. No wonder they cut the feed. Kennedy's remarks were powerful and articulate, and America is lucky to call him 26th HHS secretary. Pretty impressive.
That right there is a man, you guys, that has seen and heard everything that has been going on within the United States. So he knows that there's a lot of things that are been going on which have caused health issues in our children and us and all the generations. Really, he knows that. Okay, so he will be going through probably CPS's entire system, and I guarantee you, once he does, he's going to see what's really going on. Now that he's been confirmed and he's in office, now RFK's work starts side by side with Doge. And then you have the vice chair, JD Vance, and then you have our military experts. You have our new Pam Bondi as our attorney general's office. She's the head of it. That's the director now. You got all these people in line that know exactly what is going on within the United States. And these people are not going to stop until they prosecute every single one of these people causing corruption.
And that's why they don't want Kash Patel confirmed as the FBI director, because their goose is
he's
cooked.
going to demolish him.
Their goose is cooked. Dan Bongino says he knows where the bodies are buried. Dan is right. Okay, Kash is going to rip that thing open, and the corruption is going to be exposed, and all of them are going to go to jail who are guilty of crimes. It's going to be glorious. So, and I want to point out to you all listening, I was not a Donald Trump fan. I didn't, I've never been one of these people that, loves him madly and thinks he's the best thing ever. But you know what? The evidence is right in front of you. Okay, he's doing what he said he was going to do. And as long as he does what he says he was going to do and what's in the best interest of we the people, I will support him 100%. And you should too. It shouldn't matter whether you like the guy or not. Get over it. You're not having him over for dinner. He's not babysitting your kid for you. He's the president. He has a job to do. I mean, look at the illegal border crossings are down 90+%. What did he do? First day of office, he sent troops down there, said, "Nuh-uh, you ain't coming across anymore. That gravy train has sailed. That's it. You're done. You want to come here? Come here legally. Do it the right way. If you're not going to come here legally, we don't want you." And that's what we should all say. Think of all the people that came here legally, Vinny, that went through all the processes to become American citizens, and they get to watch someone just hop across the border, have a kid, and I'm the citizen, right?
Yeah.
Despicable.
Yeah. Oh, well, Bax, I got to tell you, that was already passed. He wrote an executive order that put that down through. There will be none of that anymore. No trans allowed in the military.
Transgenders people are no longer allowed in the military.
Nope.
So
they're not.
That's a controversial one, but you know what? The military is not a club. It's about soldiers, man. It's about an army and a navy and an air force and people that are capable of getting the job done. I have nothing against trans people. I have a couple people in my life who are trans, very close to me. Nothing against them. Okay. But, if you're going to ask someone to do a job, that person has to be qualified to do that job. And, unfortunately, trans people do face a lot of medical issues that are kind of ongoing. And, that's the justification for keeping them out of the military. And, we can argue about it all day, but at the end of the day, we need to have an effective military. That's what it's
Yep.
about.
And it's and that raises a good point for you guys that are listening, is that the military is trying. It's not against the transgender community, okay, guys. It's the military wanting to protect the transgendered from getting hurt in battle situations. They're protecting we the people that are serving in the military. That's a protection, because he's right. They have to undergo all kinds of different procedures and
Yeah,
whatnot.
there's a lot of medical issues and I know this. Again, I do have a couple people in my life who are
Yeah, I
trans
do
people.
too. Yep,
I've
I do
seen what
too.
they go through. It's a challenge. It's a battle. So, and I love my trans friends, but you know, not necessarily as someone that would join the military and have ongoing medical problems in the military. That's just not the place to be facing those kinds of challenges. You need to be in an environment where you can have the medical care that you need on an ongoing basis. So
Right. And we're not out here saying that, we're against the transgenders, and we're just saying that, you guys have pushed this propaganda in front of our faces for far too long. And, so hasn't the social stream media and the schools. Um, Stop forcing your beliefs upon us. We're not, some of us are very old school. We come back from the days of the 80s and the 70s and the 60s, okay? Um, our parents are boomers or Gen X. I borderline. I've actually been accepted into the Gen X generation, um, which is awesome because I borderline right between the two. Um, so I'm officially a Gen X, but I was in between millennial as well. So I bordered the cusp of the drop off on that. And you got to remember, guys, we grew up without social services in our families. We grew up being able to go out and have um, bike rides with all of our friends and go up and down roads without the cops saying, "Hey, you can't be on the road or you can't be on the sidewalk." We didn't have that back then. We had a time to be home and we knew it. Then lights came on. Guess what? You were home at 12 o'clock. And across the screen, it did say, "Do you know where your kids are? It's 10 o'clock." And our parents knew that we followed the rules. We came home at that time. These new generations think that, they can sit in front of these things all day long. And that's all they care about. They're not outside like our generation was. They didn't have to endure all the stuff that our generation did. And they laugh in our face, and that's the
you
problem.
just
You
reminded me
know,
that I got to go shovel snow.
yeah, yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I got to do that too, man. I got
I
my
hate
plow
that.
all ready, and yep. We're in for a doozy for a storm next
What
two
I hear.
days.
That's what I hear.
But guys, we're not trying to discriminate any of you by any means. No, we're just saying that you guys need to stop pushing it so much. We're okay with it as we the people. You want to be gay, you want to be lesbian, you want to be trans. That's all on you guys. You know, you don't need to force it upon others. That is the issue. If you guys were to, do your own thing and stop pushing it so much, I'm sure the rest of us would fall in line. But you guys need to learn from your older people. They're the ones that are going to teach you the actual education that you guys really need to know. It's about respect, guys. It's not about, who you're loyal to. It's about the respect. And the newer days don't even realize that. Especially caseworkers. These caseworkers, are taught to manipulate you. They're taught to coerce you. And a lot of them don't even have children of their own. A lot of them are single parents or gay guys or lesbians that they're throwing into the system to change everything that they do. And you need to start looking at that, and you need to start looking into your cases and helping your attorneys. It is your job to get your attorney to help you, not just let him to do everything on his own. You need to take the initiative and help your attorney do his job. Whether that means helping him find motions, whether that means helping with information, whether that means getting him case law, you guys are responsible for your case. You say you want to fight for your kids, then fight for your kids the right way and help your attorney to understand what you want him or her to do. Stop letting them control the situation. Because I work well, very well with my attorney. And I would never put my attorney down, because Richard Chipman out of Bath, Maine has represented me zealously in the courtroom. Zealously. He is a attorney that is willing to go that extra mile and to look into things. Okay? You don't get that often. Them attorneys are far in between to find.
Yeah, I've met a few decent attorneys, but not a lot. Yeah, but I've met a few.
Yeah, so. And there's some out there that are willing to step up and say, "Hey, this is wrong."
Few, but yes, they do exist.
Yeah,
we got to wrap this up, brother, because I got to get going and shovel some snow. So.
Yeah, I feel you on that one. I got to get out there.
I'm really excited about it. Super happy.
But guys, we're gonna get off here. I hope you guys have a great afternoon. Just remember that we have a 7 o'clock with me later. So I'll be diving into some information once I'm able to talk to Darren. Unfortunately, Darren couldn't be with us because his internet's out for some reason.
Check out Dan Bongino, you guys, on Rumble. If you've never watched him, check him out. Go to rumble.com/Bongino. And this guy is just absolutely amazing. One of his phrases he uses a lot is "we are the media now." And he talks a lot about mainstream media, what their claims are, dissects them and refutes them, and shows you the evidence, shows you the facts. His credentials are impeccable. So if you want to really learn the truth of what's going on in the world, watch Bongino. This guy is on top of it.
And he's correct, guys. He's very much so correct. I watched the Bongino show along with my stepdad, and Dan Bongino, that man has never been wrong. I fact-checked everything he said, and it is correct to the T.
He brings the receipts. He makes the claim, and then he shows you exactly what substantiates the claim, and you can't prove him wrong. Love the guy.
No, you definitely can't. Thanks again, Dana, for joining us today.
Happy to do it, brother.
I appreciate you, sir. I hope you have a good day. Try not to shovel too much.
I'll try not to fall on the ice and break my hip.
Yeah, don't do that. You got a kid to take care of, buddy.
Amen.
All right, guy. Have a good one. Guys, we are out of here, and we will see you back at 7 p.m. Have a good day, all. This is Vinny, and I am about to get out of here in a minute. I'm waiting to load my video up, and yeah.
In the heart of our great nation, where the strength of our communities is built upon the foundation of strong and loving families, an urgent crisis is unfolding. Child Protective Services, CPS, an institution designed to safeguard our most vulnerable, has in many cases betrayed its noble mission. Too often, families are torn apart not by neglect or abuse, but by systemic failures and corruption. We can no longer stand idly by as these injustices continue. We are here to give a voice to those who have been isolated, to shine a light on the corruption, and to rally our fellow citizens in this critical fight for justice. Every day, countless families are caught in a web of bureaucracy and abuse of power, their lives disrupted and their bonds shattered. Children who should be nurtured and protected are instead placed in situations that can be just as, if not more, harmful than the circumstances from which they were taken. Parents, often bewildered and powerless, face insurmountable odds as they fight to reunite with their children. This is not the America we believe in. We cannot allow these injustices to persist. Our mission is to educate, to inform, and to inspire action. We promise to bring you daily updates on CPS, exposing the truth and fighting for reform. We must remember that the future of our nation depends on the strength and unity of our families. By standing together, we can hold CPS accountable and ensure that it fulfills its true purpose, protecting children and preserving families. This is a fight we must not and will not lose. We are committed to saving our families and securing a brighter future for all. The road ahead is challenging, but with your support, we can make a difference. Together, we will bring hope to those who have lost it and ensure that justice prevails. Let us unite with unwavering resolve and a sense of patriotic